Good early evening, everybody. This is Lorraine Alternative Homesteading. Well, I'm going to respond to somebody named Sam Gabbard. I wonder if he's related to our judge executive. But before I do, this is Lorraine Alternative Homesteading. On February 4, 2025, my mail has been stolen again. Basically from the same person who's been sending me mail from Florida. This is now the second time, so it's not a coincidence. I had to report it this time. Especially since, when you receive mail, sometimes the postal delivery scans it and you get an alert to your email or your phone or whatever to tell you that you have mail on the way. Well, I received an alert yesterday that I had mail on the way, but it never showed yesterday. It didn't show today. And it just happens to be the same person that sent me mail, I guess, about a month ago. And I'd mentioned to her that I didn't receive it, so she sent it again. Well, now this time it's just too much of a coincidence, especially since my neighbors have stolen checks out of my mailbox and other things. Well, I want to tell you also, there's some interesting news. FBI agents sue. FBI, my favorite Bureau of Instigation. They sue over the Justice Department's effort to identify employees involved in the Trump-related investigations. Now, this is like common sense when somebody's performing an investigation. We're talking about the Department of Justice, okay? You're going to sue the Department of Justice because you don't want your name revealed? You're kidding me. So anyway, FBI agents who participated in investigations related to President Donald Trump have sued over the Justice Department's effort to develop a list of employees involved in those inquiries, and they fear they could be a precursor to mass firings. Well, would that be a problem? Anyway, would that be a problem? I don't know. I think a whole bunch of them should be fired. Maybe they should be sued first before they're fired. So the class action complaint filed Tuesday in federal court in Washington seeks an immediate halt to the Department of Justice developing a plan to compile a list of investigators who participated in probes of January 6, 2021 riot at the Capitol, as well as Trump's hoarding of classified documents at his Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida. I mean, this is just absurd. So the suit marks an escalation in a high-stake dispute that burst into public view on Friday with revelations that the Justice Department had demanded from the FBI names, offices, and titles of employees involved in January 6 investigations so that the officials could evaluate whether any personnel action was merited. Thousands of FBI employees were also asked over the weekend to fill out an in-depth questionnaire about their participation in those probes. Now, that is a step that they worry about that could lead to termination. Okay, well, I think it's warranted. What do you think? Do you think that these employees that were asked over the weekend to complete a questionnaire about their participation should complain about completing the questionnaire, worrying that they're going to be terminated? If they participated, then they should be worried about being terminated. These are things that are illegal. They shouldn't be doing these things. So the scrutiny of career agents is highly unusual, given that rank-and-file FBI agents do not select the cases they're assigned to work on. They do not historically switch positions or receive any sort of discipline because of their participation in matters seen as politically sensitive cases, and especially because there's been given no evidence that any FBI agents or lawyers who investigated or prosecuted the cases engaged in any kind of misconduct. I don't know. I'm sorry. I can't help it. I can't help it. Is this a comedy of errors or what? So anyway, Oh my goodness. So, but Trump, dating back to his first term as president, has long been furious at my favorite Bureau of Instigation, the Justice Department, and sought to bend federal law enforcement to his will. He was investigated by as a president, by agents examining potential ties between his 2016 campaign and Russia, Russia, Russia. You know, we are always blaming other people. Oh my goodness. You know, it's either Russia, 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 China, China, China. We can blame everybody else, but we're doing everything bad ourselves right here in the good old USA. Right? Ask any of those gang stalkers that are being paid as informants. No, they're not doing anything wrong. Oh my goodness. So his efforts to overturn election results and his retention of those documents resulted in indictments that were dismissed after he won the presidency in November. You know, Trump, I mean, if anybody doesn't understand what a targeted individual is, all you need to do is look at what happened to Trump. It doesn't matter if you like him. It doesn't matter if you voted for him. Just look at what happened to him over the last 4 years, and even before that, and how he's been accused of things and surveilled. And look at what they did to Tulsi Gabbard. They put her on the Quiet Skies watch list. Yeah. So, and now Elon Musk, I understand, is on the list. I mean, but at least he's got money to defend himself. But so, I don't know. Do you think my favorite Bureau of Instigation should be filing lawsuits and complaints about being investigated? I think not. But leave a comment down below. But let's get back to this message. Oh my goodness. So, now this is on the video that I posted today. Evidence, Fieldgate, paint, scrape, vandalism, get out of Kentucky, Zoomy the cat. Okay. Now this person, I don't think this person has ever posted before. I don't think so. But it may have been. I mean, there are a lot of people with the last name Gabbard. So this is Sam Gabbard. E3H. Now, this is the comment from this person. I'm going to respond to it because I know that all of my subscribers who've known what's going on here, who've seen the videos, who's witnessed it, who's seen my neighbor wearing a black ski mask, tearing down my gate, my meeting my neighbor for the first time after a year and a half while she's posting no trespassing signs on my property. How about the dead animal stuffed in my mailbox or mail that's been stolen? Or the fact that Ross Murray, who's supposed to be protecting everybody, only protects the informants trespassing my property across the street the night before, I should say the day before I went into court with my neighbors. So now this is a comment by Sam Gabbard, E3H. I'm going to respond to you, Sam. Okay, but first I'm going to read your ridiculous comment. This is his comment. Have you ever tried just being nice to your neighbors and stop the video allegations? I don't know. They give me so much evidence, Sam. I can't help but photograph it and post it online. It's just so absurd. And actually, one of my best viewed videos was my neighbor posting no trespassing signs on my property. So much to the fact that Neighborhood Wars on A&E wanted to air it on April 11, 2023, but I guess you don't know that. Go watch it. Yeah. He says, I once saw a poor soul living out of their car, and it was parked at McDonald's. They had a cardboard covering some of the windows for signs, and it said the government is watching me, and so is the FBI. I felt sorry for that person, and I do you too. Forming lasting relationships is a basic human skills that you have lost along the way, with the internet being your only connection to the outside world. Cats and chickens don't count. You mentioned you had a daughter. Is that a broken relationship too? Jackson County has a population of 14,000 people. Have you not made one meaningful relationship connection in the last few years that you've lived here? Okay, Sam Gabbard, I'm just going to say that you're obviously a very ignorant person, just like my neighbors and just like most of the people around here. I don't understand. I just don't get it. And actually this is what I'm about, okay? I only associate with people that I like. I only associate with people that I want to be around. I only associate with people that I have some kind of an affinity towards. Sometimes I can be social with people just because, like if somebody pulls up into the driveway, I'll say hello. The UPS guy comes and he's really nice and I say hello and thank him. Like, I think the woman who works at the local post office is a really nice woman. I mean, I can't say the same for a lot of people around here. And actually, when I moved here, Sam Gabbard, guess what I did? There was so much stuff left on the property by Travis Sparks, the former owner, who was like a wonderful man, I understand, that I started giving it away. Giving it. Yeah, I gave stuff to Eddie and Scarlett Marks for free. Hundreds of dollars of stuff for free. And then there was this other man that pulled up. And you know what? I don't remember his name. And I never saw him again. He was like a nice, I don't know, middle-aged man. And he drove by and stuff. And I had so much stuff that Travis left behind. All these metal folding chairs and stuff. So he came up here and I said, would you be interested in any of these chairs? And he said, yeah, I'd like to go fishing. I said, sure, take as many as you want. And he said, are you sure? I said, yeah. I said, in fact, you can take them all. I gave him all of those metal chairs. I'm sure maybe he'd only use 2 or 3 or 4. Maybe he'd give some away. And maybe he was able to trash them and get some money. But I gave them all away. I did not ask for a dime. And then there was this woman named Tanya. I haven't seen her again either. So this woman came up and she saw me taking down the mobile home trailer and stuff, and she asked me for some things, which unfortunately I couldn't give her because the man that was working on the mobile home trailer stole them. Yeah, he stole them. Yeah, and actually, not too many months after that, he ended up in the county jail. Yeah. But let's get back. So, you know what I gave Tanya? I gave her some brand new wool blankets. Wool. 100% wool blankets. Some cast iron pans. And a whole bunch of other stuff that I don't really remember. Oh my goodness. I gave away this gorgeous, beautiful, holy Bible to a neighbor down the block. Yeah. Yeah, his son was working here for a little while. And then the local perpetrators got to them and told them to not work here anymore. But yeah, I gave them a gorgeous book for free. Free. I mean, I'm going to say it's probably worth over $100. It was that rare. But I gave it to them. Why do I need 10 Bibles? Travis collected all this stuff. Oh, and then of course there's my next door neighbor. I was actually living here more than a year. This is how neighborly people are around here. I was living here more than a year, working my butt off to clean the property. It took me more than 2 years to clean it. I hired a local guy, hired other people. Everybody ripped me off. Ha 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 ha. Laugh, laugh, laugh. Charging me more than people charge me in New Jersey, for God's sake. Yeah, and I was paying them cash back then. Sam Gabbard, E3H. So anyway, yes, I met my neighbor Mary for the first time after a year and a half. I met her while she was trespassing my private property, posting no trespassing signs, my legally surveyed property. And you know what, Sam Gabbard, all these 6 years later, I still haven't received a copy of their land survey to prove otherwise. And in fact, there's nothing I have witnessed, either through my lawyer, through the previous owners, even in the county records department. Zero. Okay? But I have a legal land survey. Oh, and by the way, Sam Gabbard, I had a lot of friends when I lived in New Jersey, like a lot. Um, and I still talk to some of them. But you know, it's very difficult. And when you're a targeted person, you have losers. You know, like my neighbors down the block that approach people that visit me. They take their license plates and then they call and threaten them. How do I know this? Oh, yeah, I know. I never said the FBI is watching me. I never said the government is watching me. So you're putting words in my mouth. And there are, unfortunately, people that live in their cars. And a lot of people that live in their cars for a lot of reasons. We live in a horrible economy and have been for years and years. Rents are ridiculously expensive. Houses are ridiculously expensive. And when people get divorced sometimes, I've noticed a trend on YouTube actually of women, divorced women, living in their cars. Or buying an RV and living in their RVs and just traveling around because owning and renting is just so ridiculously expensive. And some of those people probably are on a watch list. And you know, for people like you're probably one of those go along to get alongs. You're probably somebody who's involved in gang stalking. You're probably involved in community harassment. Because only people who are involved in community harassment negate what others are going through that are experiencing it by their criminally involved neighbors. And I don't need you to feel sorry for me. I need you to feel sorry for the 6 million innocent people placed on a watch list, and 1/3 of the population, the predators like yourself, that prey on innocent people for profit, taking gift cards and money under the table, vandalizing property. And you know nothing about me. I have formed lasting relationships that have been sabotaged by people like you, by people like my neighbors who drive by and take down the license plates and give them to the county lawyer, who then contacts everybody that pulls into my driveway. So get your story straight, loser. I had a very profitable career in my lifetime. I have clients that still contact me after all these years. And don't ever say that I had a daughter. I have a daughter. I don't have broken relationships. But hey, I'm just going to call you out. And I don't really care how many people are in Jackson County. Okay? In this little town here, there are 793 people. But there were 803 when I moved here. So it's decreasing. And now you say, have you not made one meaningful relationship connection in the few years you've lived here? I'm going to go back to what I've said before. There isn't anyone around here that I even remotely relate to. My neighbors are predators. They're low class, white trash. And literally, I mean, I can confidently say they're whores. Literally and figuratively. Okay? And they're married. So they're married whores. Okay? You think that that's cool? You want to be in relationships with married whores? I don't. I don't want to be in relationships with married whores. Or that teach their sons that it's okay to stick their middle finger up at a senior citizen grabbing the mail at the mailbox. So, Sam Gabbard, I look forward to your response. And you might want to respond before I ban you from the channel. Okay? So anybody who wants to know who this creature is, let me just click on it so we can show you what the profile looks like. Here you go. Now let's see when this profile was created. Let's see. We'll just click on the more here. Oh, look. Newly created. December 31, 2024. We'll just report the user. Hide user from my channel. Submit. Bye-bye. Bye, Sam Gabbard. Okay. Well, I hope you enjoyed that little rant, everybody. And there was, let me see. Okay, so there was the video that I posted, the short. And this is just another separate thank you for the subscriber who really spent a lot of time. She was not only in the chat on the live stream on Saturday night, but you guys can hear that creepy voice in the background. I can't hear it while we're having a conversation. I can only hear it after I close out the chat and live stream, and then on the playback. So during the live, this subscriber took it upon herself, thank you so much, I so appreciate it, on several occasions to record that creepy voice. So there's a couple of recordings where I'm talking and you could hear that creepy voice underneath me. And then there was a time that I stopped speaking, where I'm just like reading the chat, scrolling the chat. So then there's none of my voice. And that is the creepy voice invading the live stream that I posted, and you could hear it. Now, I've had other people say that they have heard that same kind of a creepy voice in voicemails. So, I mean, I thought that was really interesting. And if you've heard this creepy voice before, if you've listened to this, if you've heard it in other chats or other places on YouTube, or maybe TikTok, if you've heard it any other place other than my live streams, please let me know. Leave a comment down below. I did report it to YouTube, not this time, but I think it was about a month ago. It was that one back in December, and I didn't hear back. So anyway, I hope everybody's doing well. I mean, I will record something else later. And this is backyard, what is it? Backyard jungle art. This is the woman who I've been buying additional little paintings from. And these are the ones that are being stolen from my mailbox. So evidently people know, these criminals know, that when mail comes from this person, that it's this art. So now this is 2 times in a row. This time I've reported it. And I intend to, if they don't locate it by tomorrow, I'll notify the sender and we'll file a complaint of missing mail and to get it reimbursed. So I hope everybody's doing well. Oh, I want to say other things. One person said that video that he posted today, evidence, field, gate, paint, scrape, vandalism, get out of Kentucky. One person wrote, those energy ray, GINS, okay, are probably taking the paint off your gate. Well, that's quite a possibility. That's, thank you. That's very possible, because it just seems like so much that it would have to be some kind of a device rather than like a scraping device. It just seems, I don't know, it seems like the patterns are, they're not typical patterns, and I've seen those kinds of patterns elsewhere. So it very well could be a energy ray, GUN. But thank you for that. Thank you for that suggestion. That's quite a possibility. And now somebody else says, do you think that they're also doing that with a drone? Or is there a loser sneaking around at night with his pocket knife doing that? They said, I found a video. Evidently, this man's story has been around for a bit, and I was just finding it. His last name is Bledsoe, Bledso. Said that a lady appeared to him and said, the end is when a Regulus lines up with something. He was not familiar and enlisted an astrologer. Oh, that's Regulus. Oh, Regulus. That alignment happens next Easter. My greatest fantasy is to hire some type of go-go gadget guy and who can set up all kinds of booby traps and catch those losers. If I didn't have animals, I would have already put steel traps out. Same here. And this is why people have said to me, why don't you put up some traps? I can't. I have too many animals. And even if I didn't have pets, even if I didn't have cats that come in and out, I've got a fox. I've got raccoon, and there are deer that run around, all kinds of other little animals. I would not want an animal to get stuck in a trap just because I've set it out for some criminals that are trespassing my property. And they know that. They absolutely know that. So I can't do that. And then another person responds, you should have definitely called the police and made them collect evidence off of that stuff before you touch it. And if they refuse, you should make a report with their lieutenant. Go up the food chain, hun, until you get help. Do you have to make them do their job? You have to make them do their job sometimes. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Well, I've decided I'm not filing complaints with the sheriff's department anymore. I will be going over their head and filing everything with the attorney general because they have not investigated. I'm here 6 years. They haven't investigated any vandalism that's taken place here. And every year I send a letter. And in fact, I owe the letter on the vandalism for 2024. I haven't finished it yet. But every year I compile 2 lists. Vandalism for the year and thefts for the year. So the thefts in 2024 exceeded $7,000. That was already sent to the sheriff's department. The certified letter, I haven't been in town because of 2 weeks of snow and ice. I'll get there. But he'll be getting the certified letter too. But thank you so much. They have not been here to collect any evidence at all. They never do. They never do. It's been 6 years. The former sheriff, Paul Hayes, there was one time he came here and actually photographed it. But even after photographing it, nothing was done. And in a town of under 800 people, you mean to tell me that our local sheriff doesn't know every 800 person here? I mean, I would say that when I lived in New Jersey, I don't know that I knew 800 people, but I certainly knew a lot of people living there 30 years. You know? Everybody from who worked at the post office, at the grocery stores, the mall, the gym. You start adding up all these people that you see and know that you buy coffee from at Starbucks, that you buy coffee from at 7-Eleven, that you see every day, the bagel store. These are all people that you know. You mean to tell me that they don't know who's doing this? Please, tell me another story. And no, thank you. And I'm not calling the cops anymore. I mean, unless it's more animals stuffed in the mailbox.